Morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am.
Morning. Good morning. तो स्क्रीन दिखाई दे रही है सबको?
जी मैम.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
बढ़िया. So we're going to start a new poem today, and the name of the poem is Ode on a Grecian Urn. What do you mean by ode? ODE. नाम सुना है पहले कभी?
कविता.
कविता. ठीक है. एक और वर्ड कोई और. एक कभी ना कुछ टाइम पहले एक गाना आया था सत्येंद्र सरताज का. उस गाने का जो टाइटल था दैट वाज द मीनिंग ऑफ ओड इन उर्दू. कोई बता सकता है कौन सा गाना था वो, अगर पता हो तो? नहीं. तो मूसेवाला सुन लियो. सरताज कितों याद रहना तुहानू, कितों बड़ी जानी है. सो एक गाना आया था रिसेंटली, कसीदा. ठीक है. ओके. सो ओड मतलब किसी को ट्रिब्यूट देना, या किसी ट्रिब्यूट देना, या किसी के बारे में, एज ही राइटली सेड, अ पोएम. एक्चुअली अ पोएम अबाउट एनीथिंग. ठीक है. दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एन ओड.
मैम पोएम में जो थॉट्स होते हैं शायद उसको बोलते हैं.
पोएम में जो
थॉट्स होते हैं.
थॉट्स होते हैं. ठीक है. सारे आंसर्स कुछ कुछ कई कई हद तक ठीक है. Akshay, you have joined, but your brother Sahil has not joined the class.
हाँ जी मैम.
उसने क्यों नहीं ज्वाइन की? करता नहीं
मैम
है वो?
हमारे किसी की डेथ होगी ना, इस वजह से.
अच्छा.
हाँ जी.
Okay. So let's begin today's session. Ode on a Grecian Urn. Who will read? Paras. Paras is present in the class.
Yes, ma'am.
Start reading. Ode on a Grecian Urn. The poet is John Keats. जॉन कीट्स जो है बहुत फेमस पोइट रहे हैं 19th सेंचुरी के, and he has written many famous poems such as The Fancy, La Bella Dame Sans Mercy. बहुत सारी पोइम्स थी, इनमें से कई पोइम्स जो हैं हमारे लिटरेचर में था भी, राइट? सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. पारस, स्टार्ट रीडिंग.
John Keats is the perhaps
कीट्स,
most of
कीटियार्ड्स नहीं, कीट्स. जॉन
Keats.
कीट्स.
Keats is the perhaps most famous for his orders,
फेमस.
famous for his orders such as
Odes.
an
Odes.
ode on a direction, on as well a ode to a make it cover
नाइटिंगेल. नाइटिंगेल क्या होता है?
कोयल.
कोयल. किसने बोला?
Gulshan,
हाँ जी मैम.
करेक्ट. सही है. कंटिन्यू.
in which the poet deals with the expressive nature of music ode on a aggression on in another attempt to engage with the beauty of art and nature, this time addressing a piece of poetry from of
मैम आकाश को किया कॉल?
ancient Greece. The urn of itself is ancient. It's been passed down over the
सर मोहित को करना कॉल.
मैंने क्या
हाँ.
millennia millennia
ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ?
millennia to the finally reach
मुकेश.
Keith's
मुकेश और नीरज.
presence and to him seem to exist outside of the sense of
धीरे
eagles
धीरे.
of immortal It is almost alien in its distance from the current age.
Okay, John Keats is perhaps the most famous for his odes, such as this one, Ode on a Grecian Urn, as well as Ode to a Nightingale, in which the poet deals with the expressive nature of music. Ode on a Grecian Urn is another attempt to engage with the beauty of art and nature, this time addressing a piece of pottery from ancient Greece. So, urn क्या होता है? Urn कई बार घरों में एक पुराने एक वो एक बर्तन टाइप होता है, ठीक है, आई शो यू पिक्चर ऑल्सो, जिसका नेक जो उसका जो नेक होता है आगे से पतला होता है, घड़ा जैसा होता है ना, घड़ा घड़ा
कलश।
घड़ा जो होता है उसका जो होता है नेक बहुत छोटा होता है, सो अर्न का जो होता है नेक थोड़ा सा लंबा होता है, एंड इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ मैम it's a kind of a container. Urn is a kind of a container. सुराही के टाइप कह सकते हैं, ठीक है. So what the poet is trying to do, the poet is trying to actually express the beauty of the art and nature. He's trying to express the beauty of the art and nature of this urn. This urn is a Grecian urn. Greece से है. This urn is from Greece. ठीक है. The sun is from Greece and the poet is trying to express the beauty. इस urn के बारे में गा के वो इसकी beauty express कर रहे हैं. The urn itself is ancient. पुराना है urn. It's ancient. It's been passed down over millennia to finally reach Keats' presence, and to him seems to exist outside of the traditional sense of time. Ageless, immortal, it's almost alien in its distance from the age. So it says that the जो urn है बहुत पुराना urn. This is a very old urn और generations to generations या पता नहीं कब से कब कितना पुराना है ये urn, और अब जो है जॉन कीट्स जो है जो पोएट है, पोएट की नजर इस urn पे पड़ी है, and now he's trying to appreciate the beauty of the urn. Next, Gulchan, start reading. This allows the poet.
This allows the poet, or at least the speaker in the poem, to mull over the strange idea of the human figure carved into the urn. They paradigmatically figures free from the transcendent influence of the time, but at the same time imprecise in the exact moment. For all that they do not have to worry about growing old or dying. They cannot experience life as it is for rest of humanity. Gates believes that sentences of the hearts held the truth as opposite to dry, reasoning mind. In a letter to a friend, Vinjan Valley on 2nd November 1817, he wrote, "What the imagination series of beauty much with truth, whether it is existed before or not. For one have the same idea of all our passion as of love. They are all in their sublime, creative of essentially beauty." It's important to note that Keats liked the poetic imagination were religious aesthetics in the among letter to fellow poet Shelley he wrote.
Okay, so it says this allows the poet, or at least the speaker in the poem, to mull over the strange idea of the human figures carved into the urn. They are the paradoxical figures free from the constraints and influences of time, but at the same time imprisoned in an exact moment. For all that they don't have to worry about growing old or dying, they cannot experience a life as it is for the rest of the humanity. So क्या है this urn that they are talking about? Now this urn has some figures carved onto its surface. उस urn के surface पे there are some figures which have been carved on. What kind of figures are these? There are figures of humans. There are figures of persons. There are people carved on the surface of the carve मतलब क्या होता है? What do you mean by carve? Don't tell me आपने ये word नहीं सुना होगा पहले.
मैम आपकी आवाज क्लियर आ रही?
मेरी आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही? ओके. तो इसमें क्या बोल रहे हैं, वी आर टॉक हम किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, हम एक अर्न के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं और उस अर्न पे काफी सारी फिगर्स कार्व्ड हुई है. काव कहीं पे किसी चीज को कार्व करना मतलब उस पे खुदाई करना. सो उस पे थोड़ा नीडल सा लेके कुछ आर्ट वर्क किया हुआ है उस अर्न पे. एंड उस आर्ट वर्क में क्या है, देयर आर ह्यूमन फिगर्स which have been carved onto this urn. All right, they are human figures which have been carved onto this urn. Now the urn, पोएट क्या बोल रहा है कि ये जो ह्यूमन फिगर्स है ना, ये एक तरह से ये हम ये एक तरह से अमर है. These figures will never die. They are immortal. They will never die. क्यों? क्योंकि जब तक ये अर्न रहेगा तब तक ये फिगर्स रहेंगी. जब तक ये अर्न रहेगा तब तक ये जो ह्यूमंस हैं जो इस पे कार्व किए हुए हैं ये तब तक रहेंगे. आज से ये जो अर्न जिस अर्न के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं हम, दिस अर्न इज वेरी ओल्ड. दिस इज एन एंशियंट अर्न. सो ये फिगर्स जो थी ये इतने साल पहले भी थी. हो सकता है जो पोएट जब की बात कर रहा है, पोएट से पहले भी रही हों ये फिगर्स, और आगे भी जब तक ये अर्न रहेगा, these people on the urn will continue to live. बट वो कह रहा है कि ये टाइमलेस है, ये कंटिन्यू टू लिव. दे विल, ये सरवाइव करते रहेंगे. मैं चाहे मर भी जाऊं बट दीज पीपल विल नॉट डाई. बट वो कह रहे हैं कि लेकिन ये जो लोग हैं ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक लम्हे में कैद है. these people are entrapped in one moment. जब आप किसी फोटो को देखते हो, ठीक है, तो आप फोटो में पूरी लाइफ थोड़ी ना देख लेते हो. आप फोटो में सिर्फ वो एक मोमेंट देखते हो, है ना. सेम चीज जब इन्होंने कार्व करी हुई है तो ये वही मोमेंट है जो इन्होंने कार्व किया हुआ है. एक वही मोमेंट है जो इन्होंने मोमेंट को कैप्चर करके और अर्न पे कार्व कर दिया हुआ. दिस इज दैट मोमेंट दैट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. देन Keats believed that spontaneous sensations of the heart held the truth as opposed to the dry, reasoning mind. In a letter to friend Benjamin Bailey on 22nd November 1817, he wrote, "What the imagination seizes as beauty must be truth, whether it existed before or not. For I have the same idea of all our passions as of love. They are all in their sublime, creative of essential beauty." It's important to note that Keats likened the poetic imagination of a religious edifice. In another letter to fellow poet Shelley, he wrote, "My imagination is a monastery and I am a monk." Monastery क्या होता है? Monk क्या होता है? Actually, it's not monk, it's monk. Monk क्या होता है? वो देखिए बुद्धिस्ट लोग कई बार देखे होंगे यहाँ पे पठानकोट में. अब तो नहीं because of the COVID situation, but you must have seen these Buddhist people. They wear a maroon colored clothing, maroon colored clothing. एक कपड़ा होता है मरून कलर का. They have wrapped it around all over their body. वो होते हैं monks. ठीक है, monks होते हैं वो लोग जो कि अपना सब कुछ त्याग चुके होते हैं. साधु जिसको बोलो, ठीक है, बट स्पेसिफिक काइंड ऑफ साधु. तो मंक्स जहाँ रहते हैं उसको बोलते हैं मोनेस्ट्री. So Keats says that my imagination is a monastery and I am its monk. मेरी जो इमेजिनेशन है, मेरी इमेजिनेशन एक मोनेस्ट्री है और मैं उस मोनेस्ट्री में रहने वाला एक मंक हूँ. दैट मीन्स आई कैन लिव इन माई monastery forever. This metaphorical approach to the artistic life of the imagination helped him create some of the best known romantic poems of his times. In his letters to various friends and relatives, he also developed ideas relating to the role of the poet. Out of these correspondences came Keats' famous term negative capability, opposite to consecutive reasoning, whereby the poet's character is completely absent from the poem's content. Leave that. We'll move on to the poem. यहाँ से read करना start करो. Somebody start reading from here. Harish, read करना start करो. This is what John Keats lived for.
Okay, ma'am. This is what John Keats lived for. It exhibits the confined of barren reality by trusting in his sentence of it, letting go of the self, become a repertoire guided by passion and Sabaton's feeling. Of course, he still had to discipline himself and form of a great poem out of those Italian strings. Odiane Green Urn was inspired by numerous visits of Keats to the British Museum in London. There is studied ancient artifacts from Greece, including the Elgin Marble, and was instructed enough by his friend, the artist Benjamin Haydon, to draw one of these antique vases. Many researchers have sought of one specific Greek and decided in the poem, but no one has found it. It is the thought was Keats used survival sufferers for the various sense so creating an idle urn from the old. The poem is one of survival grade of 1819 which include ode on indolence, ode
ठीक है, Ode on Melancholy. Okay, stop. This is what John Keats lived for, to escape the confines of barren reality by entrusting his sensations of the heart. So John Keats was a person of free thinking. He was a person of free thinking. He did not want to be confined in societal realities. Letting go of the self, becoming a receptor, guided by passion and spontaneous feelings. Of course, he still had to discipline himself and form a coherent poem out of those initial stirrings. Ode on a Grecian Urn was inspired by numerous visits of Keats to the British Museum in London, where he studied ancient artifacts from Greece, including the Elgin marbles, and was enthused enough by his friend, the artist Benjamin Haydon, to draw one of these antique vases. Many researchers have sought for one specific Greek urn described in the poem, but no one has found it, and it is thought that Keats used several sources for various scenes, so creating an ideal urn for the urn. So क्या था कि कीट्स जो था क्या ये जिस अर्न के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो क्या था कीट्स किससे जो पोएट है ये किससे इंस्पायर हुआ था ब्रिटिश म्यूजियम ये एक बार ब्रिटिश म्यूजियम लंदन में गया था और वहां पे इसने ऐसा कोई अर्न देखा था ठीक है वहां पे इसने काफी सारे आर्टिफैक्ट्स जो थे वो स्टडी किए थे वो आर्टिफैक्ट्स कहाँ कहाँ से ग्रीस के आर्टिफैक्ट्स थे जो इसने स्टडी किए थे और इसका जो एक फ्रेंड था बेंजामिन हेडिन ही वाज आल्सो एन आर्टिस्ट बाय हिमसेल्फ एंड so all of these things inspired John Keats to write about a Grecian urn. But काफी सारे रिसर्चर्स ने ये इस पे रिसर्च करी है और ढूंढने की कोशिश करी है कि ऐसा जो अर्न है हमें ऐसा पर्टिकुलर अर्न जो है वो हमें मिल जाए लेकिन ऐसा कुछ पर्टिकुलर अर्न वो कोई कभी ढूंढ नहीं पाए हैं सो नाउ अब सब लोग इस कंक्लूजन के पहुंचे हैं कि मे बी दिस अर्न that he was talking about this urn is not actually फिजिकल अर्न हो सकता है कि उसने कई सारे नंबर ऑफ अर्न से ये इंस्पिरेशन ली हो तो ऐसा नहीं है कि दिस इज जस्ट वन अर्न ही माइट हैव टेकन इंस्पिरेशन फ्रॉम अ नंबर ऑफ अर्न्स and then he might have made it an ideal urn for himself, which created which has created an imaginary image. Okay, the poem is one of the several great odes of 1819, which includes ode on indolence, ode on melancholy, ode to Nightingale, ode to Psyche. ये सारे odes जो थे, these were the great odes of 1819. Next, let's quickly move to the poem. Analysis of poem जो है ये हम बाद में करेंगे. First we'll start reading the poem. Though still unravel, though मतलब you, thou मतलब you. Though still unravished bride of quietness, thou foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historians who canst thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme. What leaf-fringed legend haunts about thy shape, of deities or mortals, or both, in Tempe or the dales of Arcady? What men or gods are these? What maidens loath? What mad pursuit? What struggles to escape? What pipe and timbrels? What wild ecstasy? During these first verses, यहाँ से read करो. Some who can read now? Ritik is there in the class. नितिन read कर लो यहाँ से. नितिन आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, during this first verse यहाँ से read करना start करो.
Yes, ma'am. During this first verse, we see the narrator announcing announcing that he is standing before a very old urn from Greece. The urn become the subject of ode and
Old
a
OD
Grecian
नहीं old.
ode,
हम्म.
ode and a Grecian urn soul of all of the ideas and thoughts are addressed toward it. On the urn we are told there are images of people who have been frozen in place for all
मैम
of time
बबीता और उसको कॉल किया?
as
नहीं
the
कर रहे.
poster child of silence and slow time.
किसने?
The
रजत ने?
narrator also explained to us that
और
he is
आकाश ने किया?
discussing the matter in this role as a
नहीं है.
historian
जीवन
and
कुमार के नाम से नहीं है.
that he wondering
इसलिए
just
मैंने किया.
what legend or story the figure stuck on the side of the pottery are.
हम्म.
मैम इसके आगे नहीं है.
ठीक है. Stop.
Yes.
During this first verse, we see the narrator announcing that he is standing before a very old urn from Greece. The urn becomes the subject of Ode on a Grecian urn, so all of the ideas and thoughts are addressed towards it. On the urn, we are told there are images of people who have been frozen in a place for all the time and as the foster child of silence in slow time. Coming to the first lines, देखो. Though still unravished bride of quietness, though foster child of silence and slow time. Though मतलब you, though still मतलब जो एक जगह पे खड़ा है, still, which is not moving. Unravished bride of quietness मतलब this bride of quietness is sitting there and it is very quiet. जैसे एक दुल्हन बहुत quietly बैठी होती है, when like a bride who sits very quietly. The images on the urn are also sitting very quietly. They are not talking, they are not moving, they are just still. Though foster child of silence and slow time, इनके लिए टाइम कोई मैटर करता ही नहीं है, बिकॉज ये एक मोमेंट में कैद है और ये सदियों सदियों से उस मोमेंट में कैद है. ठीक है, दैट इज व्हाट दे आर ट्राइंग टू से. नेक्स्ट, the narrator also explains to us that he's discussing the matter in his role as a historian and that he's wondering just what legend or story the figures stuck on the side of the pottery are trying to convey. On one such picture, seemingly showing a gang of men as they chase some women, is described as a mad pursuit, but the narrator wants to know more about the struggle to escape or the wild ecstasy. The juxtaposition between these two ideas gives an insight into how he's projecting different narratives into one scene, unsure of which one is true. So, Sylvan historians who can't express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme. Now the poet is saying that ये जो urn है, the urn that he's talking about, this urn cannot be expressed in its beauty by all the historians. The historians have tried to express the urn, but they have failed terribly in that. They haven't been able to express the beauty. They haven't been able to describe the beauty of the urn very successfully. What leaf-firing legend haunts about thy shape, of deities or mortals, or of both? In the temp of the dales of Arcady, what men or gods are they? What maidens loath? So there now वहाँ पे एक image है. What is the kind of image there? There is a group of men. There is a group of men, and this group of men is chasing a group of women. Maidens मतलब maidens means unmarried girls. So these group of men are chasing these group of women. So the poet is describing this act as mad pursuit. He says, are the people mad or they are trying to escape? Now again then he says, या तो ये लोग पागल हो गए हैं या ये क्या कर रहे हैं, they are trying to escape this moment. In this moment, when they are trapped inside an urn, they are trying to escape this moment. So what can this possibly be? Then Keat begins with a feminine and rather demure image of the still, quiet urn, which literally makes no noise on its own, and it's therefore metaphorically married to quietness. See, so in the first line, क्या है? It's written na bride of quietness. So जैसे it's like now the urn, it is from all the time it is sitting there, and it is sitting there in quietness. It is not making any kind of noise, so it pretends that it happens to be like that the urn is a girl, and this girl is married to quietness. The word choices in the first line convey an undertone of sensuality. Ravish means to seize or carry off someone or something by force, yet it also has the sort of highly sexual and passionate connotations that romance novelists adore. Because the urn is unravished, the marriage in this metaphor is yet to be consummated, giving the urn a quality of innocence despite its age. Indeed, through this negation of ravished, Keats implies that everything in the nature must be ravished, ravished lose its freshness and purity at some time. So the what the poet is saying now, this the beginning of the poem is has a slight undertone. मतलब आप देखो तो बैकग्राउंड में जो इसकी टोन है, पोएम की जो टोन है, इट इज ब्रिंगिंग सम सेंसुअलिटी इनटू द concept. The purity of the urn plays an important role throughout the poem as Keats explores why he is so drawn to it. Skip that part. We'll move on to the next. Yes. Yes. Nitin, start reading from here. Note that still in the phrase.
Yes, ma'am.
Please start reading from here.
Note that still in this phrase could mean both unmoving and yet as in yet unravished. Kids switch to different metaphor in which the urn has been adopted by silence and slow time. It no longer exists in the original circumstances in which it was created by some artist in ancient Greece, because it made of stone. The urn is essentially an et- okay, eternal piece of art exempt from the effect of time, or at least it is the child of slow time, meaning it diseases at a different rate than the rest of human world.
Hmm. So note that still in this phrase could mean both unmoving and yet as in the yet unravished. तो still का मतलब दोनों चीजें हो सकती है. It can be still. एक तो still होता है कि अभी भी, ठीक है, हम बोलते हैं ना you're still not up, you're still sleeping, मतलब तुम अभी भी सो रहे हो. तो एक still का मतलब ये हो सकता है. एक still का मतलब हो सकता है अनमूविंग, जैसे कि हम बोलते हैं स्टैंड स्टिल, मतलब डोंट मूव. तो इन इसमें इट इज नॉट क्लियर कि स्टिल का मतलब क्या है, बट वी आर सस्पेक्टिंग कि इन दोनों में से कोई भी मतलब हो सकता है. दिस इज व्हाट द एक्सप्लेनेशन हैज बीन अबाउट. Keats switches to a different metaphor in which the urn has been adopted by silence and slow time. So अब क्या बोलता है वो, ही सेज, एक जगह वो मेंशन करता है फॉस्टर चाइल्ड. फॉस्टर चाइल्ड क्या होता है? कई बार आप बोलते हो ना घर में, और जो 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 बड़े वाले हैं, भाई बहन में से जो बड़ा वाला होता है, ऑलवेज से छोटे वाले को, तुम्हें तो मंदिर की सीढ़ियों से उठाया था. बोलते हो कि नहीं? तुम तो है ही नहीं हो अपने, तुम्हें तो लेके आए थे. तुम तो है ही नहीं हो, हमारी फैमिली से है ही नहीं हो, तुम्हें तो हम लेके आए थे. मैं तो बोलती हूँ. सो दिस इज व्हाट इट इज अबाउट. तो उसमें जिस किसी को अडॉप्ट, हम बोलते हैं ना कि तू तो है ही नहीं है हमारी फैमिली से, तू तो अडॉप्टेड है, छोटे भाई बहन को बोलते हैं. तो जिसको अडॉप्ट किया जाता है ना, जो अडॉप्ट किया जाता है उसको बोलते हैं फॉस्टर चाइल्ड, और जो अडॉप्ट करता है द पेरेंट्स, उसको बोलते हैं फॉस्टर पेरेंट्स. ठीक है. सो नाउ द पोएट इज सेइंग दैट the urn is actually adopted by what? It is adopted by silence and slow time. मतलब the urn is so quiet, ऐसा लगता है कि the urn has been actually adopted by silence and it has been adopted by slow time, that it's not moving at all. It no longer exists in the original circumstances in which it was created by some artist in ancient Greece because it is made of stone. The urn is essentially an eternal piece of art. Now, the urn, it is made of stone, so it cannot break. The urn, it is made of stone and it cannot break. right? So it is an essential piece of art. It is very important to know that it cannot break. 1 second. हेलो हाँ जी मैडम, ये दविंदर का नंबर है। हाँ, so the urn is actually eternal. It cannot break. युगों युगों से चलता आ रहा है, युगों युगों तक आगे भी चलता ही जाएगा. This is what they're talking about urn. So I'll have to stop the class here. I'm giving you 10 minutes off. उसके बाद 10:50 पे आपकी next class start होगी. Everybody should join the class. ठीक है?
Yes,
लिंक्स
ma'am.
आ जाएंगे आपकी नेक्स्ट क्लास केमिस्ट्री की. किसी की केमिस्ट्री की है, किसी की बेसिक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स है और किसी की एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन है. आप सबको ये क्लास ज्वाइन करनी है. ठीक है, अपनी अपनी क्लासेस ज्वाइन करना. नाउ यू कैन एग्जिट द क्लास फ्रॉम हियर
Thank
and
you, ma'am.
okay, exit the class and join into the next class whenever the link comes up.